We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us!
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast?
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous. So, hey.
Hi.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me.
I was.
Oh, I'm everyone.
You're everything to me.
I don't know if I should think that's something sweet for me or something sad for you.
You are the air I breathe.
You have a kid.
You're the food I... Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's right. We just mentioned him.
He's not here right now.
Before hitting record.
He's not here right now, so naturally I forgot.
Oh, and that's why you stole his pen?
Him. That's why I stole his pen. He's going to be so pissed when he listens to this episode. He doesn't listen. Man. He doesn't listen.
I would hope not.
No.
Not for a few more years.
I was about to go into, you're the air I breathe, you're the food I eat, you're everything to me. But then you threw the kid bomb right at me, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I sound pretty horrible about it. If I'm saying you are those things. And not my son. Good point. Thanks for keeping me, grounded and centered. You're good at that. You've always been great at that. You're everything to me. Hello, and welcome to High School Famous, the podcast that has found itself both on Santa's naughty list and Mrs. Claus's naughty list. And those, my friend, are two very different things.
That's very true.
I am your host, Sean.
I'm Matt. Do you think the reason we're on Santa's naughty list is because we're on Mrs. Claus's naughty list?
I think that's probably at least one of the factors.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the full reason, but I thought that Mrs. Claus kept her list pretty private. So I didn't think that information found its way over to Santa. Because if so, how are they still together?
It's when you've been with somebody as long as they've been with each other, you work through these kinds of things.
They might be open to other possibilities like that. Yeah. I mean, we did, we have gone on record as being a kink-friendly podcast. So, maybe that's what the clauses are all about these days.
Yeah.
Do you think they have a white rock in their front lawn?
You're going to need to explain to me the significance of the white rock.
I was told that a white rock in your front lawn, like a prominent, like not a little pebble, but like something you would use as a lawn decoration. If you have a white rock out in your front lawn, that is supposed to let people know that you are swingers.
Okay. Because I've heard of like the upside down pineapple thing. See, we're on different wavelengths of what
this is. Okay. This is why we have never ended up at a gathering together, a swingers party together, because we're looking for different indicators.
This is true. Because, an upside down pineapple is also a swingers thing. So it's literally the exact same situation. I didn't realize the white rock. I mean, it's easier. Is it easier to get a white rock or a pineapple?
My question is, so you actually have an actual pineapple where do you display this?
I'm sure it can either be a real pineapple or like a decorative,
like something you hang in your window or something. Like where do you?
Well, you just put it upside down, like. Somewhere where it can be seen.
Do you think there's a clothing line or something where, like, you got a polo shirt and there's that little logo up in the chest area? Maybe there's a little upside down pineapple logo on a shirt you could buy.
There could be. I mean, you could probably just buy a shirt with a giant
upside down pineapple on the front and the back.
Yeah, it's like a t-shirt.
If you know what
the back just says the words upside down pineapple.
For those that can't read images. Those are image illiterate?
Maybe, yeah. You've heard of face blindness.
I have heard of that, but I've not heard of image illiteracy. Like where you can read words. Well, it's because
you just literally made that up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What would be why would you have the words upside down pineapple on the back of the shirt as an alternative to deciphering?
It's cheaper to print some lettering than it is to print an entire second pineapple on the back.
The lettering I choose is very detailed and multicolored.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if I would agree to that. In all cases, yeah. If you get a white shirt and you just have some black text on there, flat.
In all cases, as in lowercase and uppercase?
Yep, every case.
Okay.
Yep.
Is that what you meant, or did you mean in just every like scenario?
Scenario is what I meant.
Okay.
But yeah, but you jumped in there with your nice play on the text. I liked it.
I just wanted clarification.
Did you really think I might have meant that?
Honestly, yes.
Okay, because I mean, I guess would uppercase letters be more expensive than? Well, it all depends on the size of the font, because if
size of the font, if it's bold or not.
Yeah, like it all depends. It just how much real estate on the shirt do the letters take up? That's all that.
More than just printing a pineapple.
Depends on the size of the pineapple.
Yeah,
there's
a lot of factors in this. There's a lot of work to be a swinger.
It's so hard. It's a
lot of work.
People probably think, "Oh man, the swinger life—that's like the life for me." I wish I could live that.
So carefree.
It seems so carefree, so uninhibited. So all these positive.
But then you
things.
start getting into the logistics of you got to do brand. There's branding.
Yeah.
There's you gotta make sure your place is clean. You got to keep up on all the latest lubes. Oh
yeah. Well, you don't want to be caught at a party. Like if you're hosting a swinger party, you don't want to be caught with like old, out of stock, expired,
like
lubes.
last year's
model of lube.
Bacon flavored. Oh,
sandalwood was last year's scent.
Yeah, scent
of lube. Get with 2022, man. What's your lube scent of choice, Matt?
I prefer
this. By the way,
something fruity, huh?
This, by the way, is how we got on Mrs. Claus's naughty list, and probably Santa Claus.
Just talking
list.
About lube, or owning it, using it. Our
prowess,
our lube prowess,
just our overall prowess,
our normal prowess.
Yeah,
got it.
That got us on the list for sure. I can almost guarantee it.
Yeah, weirdly as a group. Not like individually.
Yeah. Well, we're speaking as the podcast. So
yeah,
I suppose instead of saying
deal,
instead of saying our, I should say it's prowess.
Yeah. She wouldn't take us individually as people, but as the podcast, she was for it.
Well, us is just you though.
Right.
So is that what you mean? Like she wouldn't take
us can refer to the two of us and just me.
So what does she prefer? Maybe we need to clarify this with her. Maybe she meant just you, the us that is just you, and not maybe
that would explain a lot.
Maybe she doesn't want me around for this.
That would explain why she made you sit in the corner that time.
I thought that was part of the
the corner.
I thought it was part of the thing, like eventually she's gonna we're gonna tag me in or something. But no, I sat there the whole time. I had to do earmuffs. I couldn't turn around and look. I had to wear a dunce cap for some reason, and I sat on a stool the entire 4 hours.
I mean, it was nice of her to give you that Game Boy Color to play with for a little while, though.
the color, the Game Boy Color really helped. I played whatever games were popular on that device.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever have a Game Boy Color?
No.
Did you ever have any iteration of Game Boy?
I never had a single Game Boy. I never had what was the little Sega one? Handheld or whatever. I never had that.
Was it just called the Sega
Game Gear?
It had Game Gear. Right.
There it is. I think that was it.
I thought that, but then I thought that was maybe one of the consoles. But I'm thinking of the
I think that was
Dreamcast.
The handheld one.
Yeah, you're right. Game Gear was the handheld. I never
had that. I never had like the whatever that other Nintendo little handheld thing that came out later.
Well, there's the Switch, which is the one that's out now.
Yeah. But there was the other one.
I don't know.
We're wasting time on this.
There's the Game Boys. There's a 3DS. Is that what it is?
The DS, I think, is what I was thinking of.
There was a DS and a 3DS. Yeah. Yeah, I never went past Tiger handheld.
Oh.
And you had to have a couple of those because each one was just one game, right? You couldn't swap out games.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had some kind of skateboarding one.
I had a Ninja Turtles one.
Oh, I don't think I ever had that.
Yeah.
I know my sister had a Little Mermaid one, and I had some kind of skateboarding one, and I might have had, was it like Aladdin or something? Or a Lion King? I had some other kind of like basically a non-specifically girl-focused game like Little Mermaid.
Right.
Yeah. Tiger handheld, that helped me through many a car ride.
Yeah.
Going to and from, like going to grandparents'
Maine.
house or something. Maine. Yeah. Yeah, Maine was... Driving to Maine was not fun for the 3 kids in the back seat.
Yeah, in a sedan.
Yeah. Eventually, we get to the age where we're all just putting headphones on and listening to our Sony Discman with 30-second anti-skip protection or whatever the heck that was. I think I had a Philips branded CD player at one point. I don't know if I ever had an actual Discman.
Were these things, all these cool electronics you got, were they all, I don't know, Christmas gifts?
Yeah, I don't know if they all were, but I could confidently say that at least some of them were Christmas gifts. Yeah.
Wow. We're really keeping this episode tight about Christmas.
Well, we have to. We want to keep on Mrs. Claus's naughty list. The moment we start talking about another holiday, done. Like, don't even mention other religious holidays around this time. Don't even try it. She will axe you so fast.
Literally or
just figuratively? Well, it depends on the order. If you do it while you're in her presence, she will chop you up with a legit axe.
Okay.
And burn you in the fireplace, right? If it's she hears it through some remote means, some indirect means, like say a podcast, for example, you're just removed, as in like get out that liquid paper, get that white out. You are wiped off of the list. Just your name off of the paper. There's no harm done to you physically, unless you're so upset you're someone who likes to harm them, yourself as a result. Which I can't promise I'm not.
I hope so.
You hope that I do?
Can't promise.
You hope that I can't promise. So you hope that there's a chance I'll hurt myself.
No.
You hope that I won't hurt myself, or that I just can't promise one way or the other.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. I just realized I don't need to keep the tab open on my computer anymore for the upside down pineapple, because that's just weird to have that opened up on my computer.
Yeah. Close it. Close it for sure.
No, it's closed.
Close that tab for sure. Speaking of closing, I'm pretty sure my furnace sound wasn't picked up, but I closed my door just in case because I noticed it was running. And so I don't want you guys to have to go through that. I think about you guys a lot. You're everything to me. Merry Christmas.
Whoa.
What?
I was everything to you.
Well, I have a kid, so he has to kind of be everything.
Well,
except he can't be like everything, He can't, like I was jokingly saying earlier that you're the air I breathe and you're the water I drink and pee in if I'm in the lake. But he's not those things. Or you can't be those things either, because I don't drink you or him or eat you or him, or I don't inhale or exhale you or him. I can't actually live on another human being alone. I need shelter, right?
You can sustain part of your life through a human.
Yeah, but not, like you just said it yourself, part of your life.
Well, yeah, you can't shelter yourself with another human unless you're using their house. Then you're using that human for shelter.
What's the animal? A tauntaun that Luke got shoved into for the night? Yeah,
let's be more specific and not say what's the animal, but what's the made up creature from Star Wars?
What's the fictional thing?
Yes, a tauntaun.
I think that's what it was called. Yeah. I mean, but Leo's too small for that.
Too small for what? To be a Jedi?
No. In fact, he's probably too old to start training now. I think they want to start when you're a lot younger. Because what was the age of Anakin in Phantom Menace, where they're like, oh, he's too old.
I don't know.
He's too old to begin training. I think it was maybe around 10 years old. Maybe.
But
7?
Luke was like a 40-year-old man. Now he's 20-something, I think.
I think he was in his 20s. I think he was probably, maybe 20. Because
he was probably supposed to be a teenager or something.
Right, because all his friends had gone off to join the rebellion army or whatever. But I think by that point, the whole the world of the Jedi was kind of done for by that point. So it's not like he had Obi-Wan didn't have the Jedi Council to get approval from to train Luke. You know what I mean? That didn't exist anymore.
But he didn't train Luke. Yoda did.
That's right. And Yoda would have been on the council.
Yeah. Yoda would have been the council at that point.
Yeah, he was
there
the only...
There was no council left.
Yeah.
But he still agreed to train him.
Because of the tragic what, Matt?
The massacre?
Which is called?
What you're asking for the name of what happened? Was it... I know it. It's like there, but I can't... It's execute. They said execute order 30. 34, 6.
Different decade, or not decade, but different. It's 66. Order 66.
Order 66. I'm thinking of like Rule 34 or whatever.
You've mentioned that before, and I forgot what it is. What's
it's
rule?
Like it's.
Oh,
I think it's 34. It's like if
you have a fetish about something.
If it exists, if something exists, there's a fetish about it.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what's always on your mind, from what I can tell.
That's how I stay on the naughty list.
Which one?
Exactly. Well, we've successfully talked about Star Wars again.
Yep. I wrote down Jedi training.
Nice. I've got quite a few things written down already.
Wow, cool.
I'm on top of it today because the last few weeks have not.
Lots of chicken scratch here. I don't know if I can read it later.
We definitely make lists much different than each other.
We do. Anyway, let's see. So
speaking of lists.
Yeah, goodness gracious. Speaking of lists, I looked up a little bit of a list.
Oh yeah.
This episode is going to drop Tuesday.
In enthusiasm and energy.
It's going to drop big time. It's going to plummet. It's going to crash down to the basement floor like a grand piano.
And since you're not in a tiny basement anymore,
I'm not in danger.
It's going to hurt.
No, it means I'm not in danger of getting crushed by the...
No, but you're going to fall. So either way, you're in danger. So just a different type of danger.
It would have been better if I would have been in the tiny basement?
No.
Because then I wouldn't fall.
Because you definitely would have died.
Well, how does this work? So if I'm in the basement, something might fall on me.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm not, then I'm the thing that's falling?
Yeah.
Why am I not
you're going to fall on what's in the basement.
But why am I not the thing that's falling if I'm in the basement?
Because everything's falling to the basement. So if you're already in the basement, there's nowhere more for you to fall. Nowhere more for you to fall.
There's nowhere more. Right. Nowhere more. You can't more anywhere else.
Right.
So basically, everything is going to fall. And if I'm higher up, I'm going to be part of what's falling.
Yeah, and if then I'm at the bottom, further to fall.
If I'm at the bottom, as in a tiny basement, then everything that is falling is coming my way.
Right. So you're better to be a little higher because you have a better chance of survival.
So it's good.
We've gotten sidetracked again. This episode's going to drop.
Let's see. The 20th? Tuesday the 20th?
Yep.
Which is the last episode that is going to post before the holiday known as Christmas. Mm-hmm. And so I pulled up something. Let me see if I get the website here. Bustle.com. 8 Christmas traditions from history that are actually, quote, creepy as hell.
Oh, that's the noise I make.
Yeah. Let's see how, let's see. I can read the little preamble here, but let's just get to the list here. Number 1, Christmas ornaments evolved. What do you think Christmas ornaments were evolved from?
Probably from they probably used to be actual animal testicles.
Actually, I think you might be kind of right. Well, the thing is, the way they word it, it's in quotes. So we'll read on and figure out exactly what they mean.
We're quoting somebody.
But it says Christmas ornaments evolved from witch balls, as in witches, right, tying into Halloween. Right. The tradition of hanging toys and treats from the Christmas tree is largely German in origin, but the phenomenon of glass-blown spheres and baubles may actually be part of a spooky idea dating back to at least the 17th century across Britain and Ireland. Witch balls. These were glass-blown... Oh, this isn't fun. These were glass-blown spheres, sometimes layered on the inside with silver, that were believed to ward off evil spirits. Well, that was a letdown. I thought it was they chopped off some balls, which, now that I think about it, witch balls, witch is typically a name assigned to a female, so they wouldn't have these.
I don't believe there are male witches. I believe males are considered
a warlock, right?
Warlocks or wizards, yeah.
So witch balls were originally placed in windows, but the process by which they may have moved from that location to the Christmas tree is mysterious.
Magic.
It's not far-fetched, though, to suppose that people wanted to charm away spirits at a particularly holy and important point in the year, and saw an opportunity in tree decoration. It's another example of ways in which pagan tradition and Christian belief have melded in Christmas history.
Yeah, because Christmas falls on a pagan holiday.
Yep.
So
I
it
don't.
makes sense.
I don't think there's any actual documentation showing the birth of Jesus Christ to be on the 25th of December.
No, from everything I've heard or remember is he was more likely born in the summer months.
So are there things that you remember that you haven't heard?
Yeah, because if I read something
Gotcha.
and remember it.
That makes sense. So when you say heard, in a way that kind of just means knowledge you found, like you learned about in some way.
Right.
So are you saying heard in this case is only things that are like told to you audibly?
Yep.
That's why you're on the naughty list.
Well, I used to be in a Christian household and used to have to go to church and Sunday school back in the day. So I've heard things.
You heard some things
along those lines.
All right. So you heard them.
All
right.
Some things.
The Irish, number 2. The Irish, not saying the Irish are number 2 in the ranking of
they're way lower
human nationalities. The Irish once celebrated by killing wrens, Matt.
Oh, no.
A wren is a bird.
Yes.
In Ireland, the Christmas celebrations extend beyond December 25th and up until relatively recently involved bird murder. Not to be confused with like the birdemic, where it's birds murdering.
Right.
We're talking about the murder. According to regional Irish tradition, St. Stephen's Day, the 26th, was celebrated by killing a wren, placing it on top of a decorated pole.
Cool.
And taking it from house to house in a procession, singing and demanding money.
Hey, look at this dead bird.
Yeah.
You looked at it. Now you got to pay.
What's was there a currency specific to Ireland?
Probably.
I said shillings, but I don't know if that was just a old-timey currency guess.
Yeah. I mean, that might be close.
The precise origins of this idea of wren slaughter are unclear. It's either a reference to an idea that the saint himself, Saint Stephen, was betrayed by a wren. I trusted you, bird. What could a wren do to betray a person?
Right.
Like, don't fly away.
Don't eat these seeds I put down.
Right.
These are my seeds.
Yeah, these are your seeds, and these identical seeds are my seeds.
Yeah. You stay to yours. You can have those. You can do whatever you want with them. I would say maybe portion them out so they last a while. You ate them all. Okay, cool. These ones are mine. And then he turned his back for like a second.
He did. He's like, I trusted you to be able to turn my back.
He went to count the rest of his other seeds.
If a bird, okay, maybe this is a time where seeds are very hard to come by. Maybe this is a time of great, but this is a saint. Probably is bestowed upon with more than the average person. But maybe seeds are a shortage. There's would you, if a bird or a pet ate something of yours, would your first instinct be to just kill it? Or would you just want to punish it a little bit first? See if it learns its lesson.
Yeah, I don't think I would immediately kill it.
You gradually kill it.
Over time. Make sure that it knows
that
it did something wrong.
Like you hold it underwater just long enough where it's almost about to die, then you let it up. It's this very very awful form of torture. Keep it locked outside in a cage for days without food or shelter. Have it exposed to the elements, which animals typically are okay with. They do pretty well with that.
I mean, most animals live outside.
They're exposed to the elements all the time. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Or there's also a legend about wrens exposing hiding Irish villagers during a Viking raid in the 700s. That's another possible source for this idea to kill a wren. Oh,
they specifically were only exposing
the Irish villagers.
The Irish. So they have something against the Irish.
They do. Does that make them a smart bird? I guess it depends on which side of the Irish fence you're on.
Right.
I know that I have a lot of Irish in me. So I would not really favor the idea of a bird specifically pointing out, my people in hiding.
Your Irish heritage.
Yeah.
Keep this a secret.
Come on, I don't want anyone. No one should know. I mean,
right.
Have you seen the Irish? Anyway.
Where exactly is the Irish fence?
It's
around Ireland.
It's on the border, the border
of all of Ireland. Oh, then most of us are on the outside of that fence.
Yeah, you have to live within Ireland's borders.
So when you say depending on what side of the Irish fence you're on, most of us are outside of it.
Yeah, I mean, there's the physical Irish fence, which is what we're kind of talking about right now. But
right,
I was sort of referring to the metaphorical Irish fence as in, like, what is your opinion of Irish people?
Gotcha.
Do you fall on
that fence? Can be anywhere.
A fence. It's
at any time.
You can even
that fence is constantly moving.
Oh yeah, and if you have the right app, you can place it in your room to see how it looks before you buy it.
Right.
It's a wonderful AR experience.
What's the next one?
Number 3.
Oh, makes sense.
Christmas Eve involved burning yourself on alcoholic raisins.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Let's just find out what this is about. This tradition dates at least back to the 1600s in England and is referenced in Shakespeare, Dickens, Austen, and Agatha Christie. The idea of playing Snapdragon or Flapdragon on Christmas Eve is now lost, but it was a standard part of the season for hundreds of years, even though health and safety would now have a total fit about it. The British lexicographer Francis Gross wrote about the rules in 1811. Raisins and almonds being put into a bowl of brandy and the candles is extinguished. The spirit is set on fire and the company scramble for the raisins. Oh, so you put a bowl full of raisins and almonds, throw some brandy in there, set it on fire, and then you're supposed to reach in and try to get the raisins out.
That sounds dumb.
It is dumb.
It doesn't sound like a fun game.
Not at all. And this especially, a raisin, I'd say a raisin isn't worth any trouble. No one should have to go under any trouble to obtain a raisin, let alone...
Unless they're making their own raisins.
Yeah, but why would you do that? I guess raisins, people like them and they will sell, right?
Raisins are fine. I have no issue with raisins.
There's this guy I used to work with who I was not super fond of when I was working with him, but he's sort of okay outside of work.
Right.
I think he either just drew it or he ended up putting it on a shirt, but it said something like raisins ruining cookies for the past 500 years or something like that. There was a stamp on it, a number of years, but the idea was that raisins were just ruining cookies in history. Where are you on a raisin in a cookie?
Oatmeal raisin cookies are fantastic.
I will not buy a bag of like trail mix or whatever that has like nuts and M&Ms and stuff in it because it always has raisins in it.
Oh, those are fine. Those are great.
Nah, I won't get it.
Those are the two instances where I'm like, yeah, raisins are fine.
Okay. Because
the best thing about an oatmeal raisin cookie is you can eat it for breakfast.
Oh, I was going to say, I thought you were just going to say it's the raisins.
That's a hill I will die on is a oatmeal raisin, because oatmeal raisin, like granola bars and stuff, it's like, yeah, it's a granola bar. It's breakfast. So an oatmeal raisin cookie, to me, it's like, that's a breakfast cookie. That's a cookie you can eat for breakfast and not feel shame.
I think if you eat any cookie for breakfast, you should be ashamed.
No.
And as I say that, I should point out that the only thing I've really eaten today are a couple cookies I bought from the gas station earlier.
I had cereal for breakfast.
That's not better.
Why?
What kind of cereal was it?
It was Golden Grams.
Okay, so why is that like? Yeah, that's a good thing to have for breakfast.
Because it's marketed as a breakfast food.
Sure,
so it's acceptable.
So that's it. That's all you need.
It's better than a goddamn cookie.
But that's all you need.
That's not an oatmeal raisin cookie.
No, but that's all you need. Oh yeah, they say this is a breakfast food, so that means it's something I should eat at breakfast time.
Sure, why not?
What is in it that your body like? What does your body? How does your body benefit? Sure, and of course, we as human beings are meant to drink cow's milk, right?
When did you start taking this side?
It's not.
I've never heard you come across as we shouldn't drink cow's milk because we are not cows.
No, it's not really specifically that. It's okay. More like, yes, we've become accustomed to consuming these types of foods at this point in the day, just because that's just what we've done, without sitting back and really looking at it.
I mean, sometimes I'll eat cereal for dinner.
Oh, okay. Never mind. All right, you won this argument. But no, it's more like, what does this food have in it that our body even uses, right?
Like Well, I mean, you can say that about a lot of foods.
Exactly. But we just like, oh yeah, this is what we eat. Like, there's no thought about it. There's no like sitting back and actually looking at what you're eating. You're just like, yeah, cereal is a breakfast food, a sandwich for lunch.
Well, I didn't realize you became such an organic only vegan recently.
Well, I'm not. I'm eating cookies in a bag, and I have a bag of combos I'm going to open up later.
Yeah, there's animal fats and all of that shit.
Oh yeah, it's all, yeah. And I never made any kind of claim that I was against consuming anything that comes from an animal.
Right.
Like, give me a.
But I think it's funny that you're like, sort of, you're not dying on this hill, but you're definitely wounded on this hill.
I'm not wounded. I think I'm winning. I think I'm winning on this hill.
Because like, well, yeah, I suppose the opposite of dying on the hill would be winning on the hill, which is then losing your argument at the same time, which is weird. That? But because dying on the hill is like you're taking a strong stance on this thing.
So winning
on the hill, you're not taking a strong stance on it.
It's like you concede almost.
Yeah,
like you concede
in a weird
to
way.
The other
you're
idea.
Both winning and losing.
I hadn't thought about that way.
No, I just think it's funny that you're like, we shouldn't be doing this. These are things that we've just been told we're supposed to do. I'm going to continue to do it though.
Yeah. But at least I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, like I'm aware that I'm putting the wrong things in me, but I'm okay with it. I mean, I agree with that. I know I shouldn't eat a lot of the crap I eat, but I still eat it because it's delicious.
No, I remember there was someone I used to work with that is a vegetarian.
You used to work with a lot of people.
Yeah, I used to work a lot. But
okay.
She said like, "Oh yeah, why should we drink cow's milk? It's for baby cows. It's not for us." And I'm like, I never thought about it. I just grew up drinking milk.
But it's not ethical to sell human milk at the store.
No. The point is, there's no reason to drink milk.
No, I agree.
Beyond like when you're nursing as a baby, like
right.
There's no reason.
Yeah, we're the only animals in the entire existence of Earth that drink other animals' milk.
Yeah. So that was the idea. I hadn't, just like anyone else growing up, you drink a glass of milk with dinner. You have milk in your cereal. Like that's just what you do.
But I've also heard the argument of, well, yeah, because we're the only animals on Earth that can get it.
Yeah.
Like if you give a dog a bowl of milk, it's going to be like, this is awesome. This is so good. It's going to drink it.
But it
can't go and get it itself. But
I'm just thinking like if, I don't know what the natural predator of a cow is, but
humans.
Well, besides humans, I wouldn't consider ourselves like the natural predator of anything. Like,
well, yeah, not anymore.
Right. Maybe back in the day, but so like, let's say, a wolf or something comes up and a pack of wolves comes up and they take down a cow to eat.
Mm-hmm.
They're not extracting the milk to drink. They're just eating the meat and leaving. So
because they don't know how
they don't know what they're missing.
Yeah.
Because they don't know
if they knew how to extract the milk, they'd be like, yeah, this stuff is tasty.
If they knew how delicious this, whole milk,
unpasteurized, fresh from the cow milk.
It's probably different. I've never had that.
It is.
Yeah, I've never had that.
It's because you can't. It's because I think it's illegal to obtain unpasteurized milk if you're not a farmer.
Isn't that weird? Why? Like,
it's just
why is that a weird law? You know what I mean?
I think it's because it's technically dangerous to consume like a large amount of it. Maybe.
So it's
full of stuff.
So it's a law that was put in place to sort of protect the general population from harming
like
themselves.
Most laws.
Yeah, that's
most laws are kind of that.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get off of this stupid thing.
Well, hold on. Say one last thing, kind of along those lines. When I got into an argument once about somebody being like, they shouldn't be able to mandate wearing a mask in like a private business because blah 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 blah. They shouldn't be able to put laws like that on. They can't make that kind of a thing a law. I'm just like, the government can make a law in any fashion it wants if it is to protect people. I'm like, why do you think there's speed limits?
Yeah.
It's there to protect you. Mask law is there to protect you.
Isn't it weird how, so many laws that are doing a very similar thing? Taking away my freedoms. Accepted. Yeah. Accepted. No argument. Yeah. I'm not going to fight against this law, but there's some that just, it's probably because the whole mask thing was like all of a sudden put on us. It changed the way we live.
Right.
And there was so many people that weren't happy with that. But if it was something that we absolutely had to live with, like continually, I would think eventually just become an accepted thing. But I guess that would involve like the science proving itself, and then there's always going to be people that deny that.
Which, I mean, the mask thing proved itself very quickly that it was beneficial, because it was like, I remember going to the doctor we're super off topic, but I remember going to the doctor to get a COVID test before
Christmas last year?
No, it was before it was before traveling home for something.
For Christmas,
it wasn't for Christmas. Right? It wasn't for Christmas.
I'm trying to keep it on brand.
I know, but let's say it was for Christmas.
I bet you told the story to your family around Christmas time, right?
Possibly.
And you're telling the story now around Christmas time, right?
Yeah,
so
it was
kind of
for Christmas
story. It was a Christmas story.
It was Christmas, but
Christmas story.
No, because I remember going in and they're like, oh yeah, we're doing a lot of COVID tests right now because this was the height of COVID and everything. But he's like, I've literally had 3 flu cases all year because everybody was wearing masks.
Yep.
I'm like, wow, if that doesn't prove that masks are working, what does? And the flu doesn't spread as easily as COVID. So yeah, people are still getting COVID, and that's fine. But it was still cutting down everything. But it was just to prove the fact that almost no flu cases that entire year. And then as soon as mask mandates left, the flu went frickin' crazy.
Yeah. I know this isn't this isn't like scientific data to back up the idea of wearing a mask and it helping. But I remember having one on because people would say, oh, masks don't even do anything. They don't. How can they?
Yeah.
I tried to blow out a candle while wearing one, and I couldn't blow.
There you go.
I couldn't blow the candle out. So that has to show you that some of what's coming out of my lungs is restricted from getting into the air.
They're not 100% effective,
and none of them claim
it's more effective than not wearing it.
Exactly.
And that's the thing, is like it's not going to 100% stop the spread of anything, but it's going to cut the spread by a significant amount.
Yeah.
And it only really works if everybody's fucking doing it. So that's where whatever. But anyways, Christmas
time, Yuletide cheer and caroling, back to
Put
happy
on your Christmas
thoughts
masks.
and things. Yeah. Mine's
that
made
was
of
the Christmas tradition of 2020.
My Christmas mask is made of witch balls. All right,
but which balls?
The ones that I had to get rid of. They got spoiled.
Which witch balls are you?
The ones from Sandra.
Good.
That's my
good contribution,
dude. Don't even start. Good. the last time.
I contribute such shit a lot of times that I have to do it every once in a while.
If you to me too,
fail, I got to get back at you.
I'm curious about what this one means. And so far, some of these are not like creepy as hell. I would even say none of them are. So again, this is another outlandish claim by the internet.
Dude, yeah.
It's clickbait.
That's the fun of it, is that no matter what, it's never going to live up to the expectation it's trying to deliver.
Right. Yeah, it's clickbait.
Oh, big time.
Number 4, aristocrat elected a small boy to run festivities. Does this sound creepy at all? I guess it depends on what the festivities are. If you lived in the late medieval period in England and hung around fancy courts...
What a dumb thing to say. Whoever's reading this clearly didn't.
Yeah, I know. They're not... yeah.
All right, continue.
This story is about me. And hung around fancy courts of noblemen, law schools, or colleges at Oxford and Cambridge, you'd witness some hilarity around Christmas. All of them elected a small boy around Christmas called the Lord of Misrule to conduct all of the celebrations for them. Medieval England held these celebrations where the social hierarchy was turned on its head a few times in the year. But the Lord of Misrule at Christmas was one of the cutest versions. They were in charge of all the parties of the court, from elaborate balls to big feasts, and were paid court just as if they were real nobles. There's nothing creepy as hell about this.
There's nothing creepy about that. And also, that sounds awful. Let's make this child plan these giant elaborate balls and feasts. Like, what does the kid know? Especially if it's not a noble kid, so he doesn't know what the nobles are into.
Well, here's the thing. If you lived at this time and hung around fancy courts of noblemen. So they're saying if you're a kid,
well, no, they're saying if you lived
things,
and hung around this area, you could participate in this thing. Not that you would be a kid who knows about it.
You don't think at any of these places they had like kids sort of like doing little jobs for them, like working on like
maybe
like deliver this letter to, you know, go walk this down the hall to so and so. You know, just stupid little
but they
things.
wouldn't be part of the big festivities, so they still wouldn't really know.
Maybe the creepy thing is something that they don't get into, which is what happens if the party is a big failure and what they do to the kid.
But it's like, then don't put it in this list. If you're not going to tell me the creepy part of it.
I know. All right, number 5.
Is the creepy part that the kid is part of the feast at the end?
Oh, let me see. Cathedrals did the same, electing a boy bishop every year from the boy choristers who performed all the religious ceremonies of the cathedral from December 28th onwards, including giving sermons. One sermon from a boy bishop involves his wish that all his school teachers could be hanged.
So adorable.
Oh, cute. It's the cutest version.
They're probably just like, oh, adorable.
Yeah, he'll never hang us. We're too big.
Have it done. Make it so.
Make it so. These too cute. Hang them all. I can't say no to this little.
We can find more teachers.
Yes. They don't cost much. Number 5, the Christmas Day feast was a flaming boar's head. Before turkey and all the trimmings, upper-class celebrations of Christmas in the 1500s in England, it's always England, England's the worst, might involve a particularly threatening centerpiece, a boar's head. Nothing threatening about a dead animal's head. We know from a carol dating to the 1520s that it was part of a Christmas tradition to bring a boar's head with garlands gay of rosemary to the table. I only said it that way because it was in quotes and they changed the color of the text to blue. So I feel like I had to put emphasis on that part.
Okay.
Often while singing a particular song about its origins. So they're singing a song about the origins of the boar's head?
From the forest.
Yeah.
Or the local meat guy.
From the body of the boar. Yeah, this one came from the body of this particular boar. Let's see. A song about its origins and the threat it posed to civilized people while alive. What is this? What? So is this a wild boar that they catch in the forest? It must have
been a wild boar that was threatening society for some reason.
Maybe attacked people? Yeah, it's threatening society, like the concept of society.
Yep. It was trying to, rally other boars to start some sort of revolution.
Yeah.
That was its threat.
They liked life back before societal ways and civilization.
Oh yeah, before people started,
cutting their heads off for meals.
Yeah.
I suppose that's a good motivator.
Society before that.
Yeah. I guess after too. Now that it's not happening anymore, we can say we like society after.
After beheading stopped?
No, yeah, after it stopped.
I mean, beheadings still happen.
Not
in the world.
Specifically boar's head for Christmas.
Well, not specifically that. I guess I'm just in general.
I mean,
beheadings are still a thing.
Yeah, but I'm only upset about this one.
Okay.
Go ahead, all other beheadings. To each his own, I say. But I mean, the boars they're so cute, and they've had it rough.
I mean, are boars cute?
Their revolt is justifying. They're trying to rally other boars to take down society.
Right.
It's justified. I don't hold it against them. They don't deserve a beheading because of it.
Right.
But we're us. So we're the supreme beings.
I'm us.
But we're also you made it clear that we are also us.
But I was also stating I am.
Gotcha. Can you say I am us, or would you just say like us is us?
Yes, I can.
Yes,
I can say
us
I.
can.
I is still a totally fine thing to say.
Number 6. I'm not going to read this one. What's alms? Alms is like giving something. What is it? Alms. ALMS. Like give alms to the poor.
I think it's. Oh God.
I don't know if it was just like basic necessities or money, like clothing, food, money. Isn't that what it is?
Yeah, it's money or food.
Yeah,
given to poor people.
So number 6, Russian Tsars wandering the streets giving alms. What's creepy about this?
I don't know. This list is stupid.
Yeah, it's saying that a Russian, in the 16th and 17th centuries, in Tsarist Russia, before the Tsars were overthrown by the Russian Revolution, a key part of the Christmas celebration apparently involved the country's leader dressing as a peasant on Christmas Eve, leaving the palace by a secret exit, and visiting prisons and poorhouses to distribute alms. I don't see what is creepy as hell about this tradition. Prisoners could be pardoned by the Tsar on the spot. Prisoners could even be pardoned?
But how? But he's dressed as a peasant.
Yes.
So is the creepy part that he's like pardoning them, but they don't know it's the real guy. So then they're like, "Oh, thanks for the pardon. It doesn't, since you're not him though. You're just some peasant. So it's not a real pardon."
This sounds a lot like Undercover Boss.
Oh yeah.
I think that's where they got the idea.
And they get fired on the spot.
Yeah. While the Tsar was meant to provide this service in secret, in reality, poor people knew about it and came from all areas to crowd into Moscow, hoping to meet him on his almsgiving walk. Yeah, I don't see anything creepy about this at all. We might be in better shape with number 7 here.
Okay. Let's ramp up the creep.
Ramp it up! I'm not sure what wassailing means.
Okay. Maybe it'll give it context.
Wassailing. It says wassailing was meant to scare ghosts away. We mostly know the word wassail. Of course, you and I do, as we just showed.
As we all.
From old carols nowadays. But from the medieval period in England onwards, it involved sharing apple-spiked drinks like lamb's wool, which involved heating apples until they exploded in boiling alcohol and then added spices, and wishing each other good cheer. Some people took vast bowls of wassail from house to house in order to spread goodwill. In apple-centric rural areas, though, those apple-centric...
Oh, yeah.
I'm from Appletown. I live in apple country.
It's a very apple-centric area.
Yeah. My area, I haven't seen a single apple.
Yeah, no, I used to have an apple tree in the front yard of my previous place. So very apple-centric. Now not so much.
Yeah. Right next to the giant white rock and upside down pineapple?
I mean, you don't need both.
But let's say you have
one
both.
or the other.
You're probably saying like,
it's a giant white rock with an upside down pineapple painted on it.
Yeah. So that's to say, this is all I do.
Yeah. I only swing.
It's everything to me. Though the tradition of wassailing around the 12 days of Christmas took on more elaborate forms, some of which survive to this day. To wassail meant going out to visit the orchards in a giant procession on the 12th day of Christmas, singing happy songs to the trees to ensure a good harvest and protect them from evil spirits. Shooting and hollering to scare any ghosts away. Shooting what? Are you shooting a gun?
What's the 12th day of Christmas? Christmas is Christmas Day.
Right, but there's the song 12 Days of Christmas, which now I'm curious as to why there's no feature of apples of any kind in that song.
Right.
They don't mention wassailing at all.
It's like 12 apples haunting.
Shooting away the ghosts.
Pulling out their pistols. Busting a cap.
A cap. Many a cap were busted during this time. Yes. Many a cap were busted, sir. Please, sir, your report. How was the wassailing? Many a cap were busted, Sergeant. How many ghosts fleed the orchard? the haunted apple
We're not
orchard.
sure. They are invisible, sir.
They're invisible, sir. I've explained this every year. But we promise you, we busted many a cap. Well, how can you know you busted a cap if the ghosts are invisible? Well, sir, busting a cap doesn't mean the bullet comes into contact. We can't verify that. It just means that it left the gun.
Right.
That's the act of busting one's cap, sir. At ease, Private. Now lower my trousers.
What?
It's Christmas time.
It's a Christmas tradition.
It's a Christmas tradition. Bust my cap, Private. Bust my private cap. Oh, yes, sir, Sergeant. This is a sergeant telling a private to do this. Let's see. Shooting and hollering to scare any ghosts away, and sometimes asking small boys to hang toast soaked in cider on the boughs to attract good spirits in the form of birds.
I think,
but not a wren.
A lot of these are creepy because they just involve, like, everyone involves a small boy in some way.
Small boys, yeah.
Yeah.
They take a small boy. They say, take this thing, insert here. Hopefully,
put some spice-soaked toast or whatever you said it was.
Toast soaked in cider.
Cider. Cider. It's got to be apple related.
Apple related, yes.
Yeah. So first off, toast. The point of toast is to have, a nice crispy piece of bread. Then immediately soaking it in cider is going to make it. That's not going to hang well because it's just going to tear apart.
Yeah, whatever.
Unless it's soaked in it and then dried again.
Yeah, but that process has to take so long. You can't. You can't. I mean,
you do that on the 11th day.
You can't on the fly do this.
No, you have to prep this stuff.
My bread needs time to dry.
Pre-prepped cider toast.
So that is supposed. So here's the thing: you could put out non-soaked bread,
right,
and that will attract the good spirits that are in the form of birds, right? Any bread you throw out is going to attract birds.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be toasted or soaked. It can just be bread.
They're adding unnecessary steps. This is probably to keep the small boys busy while the real men go out with their guns.
Right. When do I get to shoot a gun? When you become a man.
When you're no longer a boy.
When do I become a man? When your parents are dead.
When your parents call back. Wow.
That's a callback to something that isn't on an episode.
You're right.
Yep.
It's not on an episode. So sorry I said that, everyone. You can there's no way you can get the callback or notice it.
Maybe at some point they will hear that audio clip.
Perhaps, but not right now.
No.
Everybody would then share a wassailing cup full of cider and generally have a really good time.
All right.
That's what it is. That's how it ends. That's how number
Not
7 ends.
Completely have a good time, but generally
have a really good time. Generally.
Yeah.
Really good.
Generally.
Yeah. It's I mean, if they're having any bit of a good time, it's really good.
Yeah.
But sometimes they didn't. But if they did,
yeah,
it was really
it was good.
Really. Yeah. Number
so
8.
Good.
Number 8 and the final item on this list.
Creepy.
This one does the image that they have, I'm not sure if this is like authentic or this was just recreated for the purpose of the story, but this might have the potential to be the actual creepiest story here.
All right.
A horse's skull was taken from house to house with pretty accessories.
This may have come up on our list last year.
Really?
It was definitely one of them in the list of them that I had read. Whether or not I read it, I can't remember. I'd have to go back and listen to that episode.
I don't recall hearing this.
Okay.
But
either way, go for it.
The celebration of Mari Lwyd, Lwyd, but in parentheses it has a translation, Holy Mary. So in celebration of Holy Mary, which originated in South Wales and is still celebrated in the region of Glamorgan, is one of the creepiest Christmas traditions in the world. The Mari, I was going to say the Holy Mary, itself is a dead horse dressed up and put on a pole. The Welsh government describes the celebration thus. People made a horse figure from a horse's skull with decorative ears and eyes attached. They adorned it with colorful reins, bells, and ribbons, and wrapped it with a white sheet that is carried around on a pole. The Holy Mary and its party would go door to door singing and challenging the families inside to a battle of rhyming insults in Welsh.
Oh, that's got to be really hard. Have you heard the Welsh language?
No, I was going to say I don't know Welsh enough to know if this is something difficult to do or not.
It's a rough sounding language.
At the end of the Battle of Wits, known as Pwnco, Pwnco, they hate vowels here. The group would be invited into the house for refreshments.
Oh, nice.
The Holy Mary celebration dates back to pre-Christian times. What? How is that possible?
Yeah.
If this is a Christmas tradition. And seems to have once been part of a New Year's celebration, but has now become part of Welsh Christmas folklore. And you thought your mother's old Christmas decorations were the creepiest thing about your festive season. Get even more from Bustle. Sign up for the newsletter.
No, I'm good.
That's our list.
Bustle, you really kind of failed us here.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Bustle.
These are not creepy.
The horse one, kind of.
It's weird. I mean, it's just a horse skull.
Well, yes.
That's supposed to represent Holy Mary.
Holy Mary. Yeah. It's Holy Mary. This is like they're carrying around this thing like, hey, this is Holy Mary. It's a horse head with attached eyes and ears, like a horse skull.
Yeah. So
given,
it's weird. It's like Mary had a real horse face.
Ooh. There was there's a real Sarah Jessica Parker going on over here.
Wow, dude, that's so rude. Why would you say such a horrible thing about Sarah Jessica Parker? She's a goddamn American treasure.
She's a treasure. She is irreplaceable.
She's my everything.
She's my everything.
Oh, she's the air I breathe.
She's what I breathe. She's what I piss. So, Matt, how many of these do you partake in each year around?
None of them. I don't have a small boy, so I can't partake in any of them.
You know what?
Got to go get me a small boy.
A lot of this is now possible
and as we've
for me.
Determined. Yeah, you've got a small boy that you care sort of about.
I mean, a lot of these are just kind of weird. To me, the one that I would say is like the dumbest to participate in is the one where you're reaching into a flaming bowl of almonds and raisins to try to get the raisins out.
Yeah, like I'm not big into either of those items, just individually. I don't really like almonds at all.
I can't stand bowls.
Well, or flames.
Give me a plate. Give me a colander.
A plate of almonds and raisins.
If it were me, I would be the one trying to get the almonds out.
Almonds are awful.
Think about it. You just went from almonds to roasted almonds.
Yeah, but almonds don't taste good and also are awful for the environment as far as how they're like to farm almonds and ship them. It just
I thought that
it's a ridiculous process that eats up a lot of resources.
I heard that pistachios was also bad.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure cashews are also awful because I think you only get one cashew per plant.
Really?
Yeah.
But
have you ever seen
good.
A cashew plant? They're weird.
I have not.
It's just this weird nut on top of a plant. But I believe it's like one per. That's what's great about peanuts, but they're not nuts. Because they're not nuts, they just grow in abundance on the plant.
So everything else, anything that's actually a nut is not effective.
I think so. I think most nuts like that are just awful environmentally.
What's your nut of choice? If you could only
cashews for sure.
Cashews? Where are you on something like a hazelnut or a pecan?
I don't know if I've ever just eaten a hazelnut or a pecan, just straight out.
I don't think I have either. I might have had a pecan. I think I've had some kind of like a bag of like mixed nuts that probably had, I think they had hazelnuts and pecans in there. But yeah, I think I'm with you. I think I have to go cashew.
Yeah, cashews are great.
I do like almonds though. I'll buy a bag of roasted almonds and go through them. I'll sort through them and try to find the best one. Like
I'm just a cashew guy or a peanut guy, but peanuts aren't nuts, but they're delicious like a nut.
You still get to eat them.
They're nut-like and they're delicious.
They're nuttish is what I like to say.
They're nut adjacent, as I like to
Are they?
say. Yeah, I mean I'm nut adjacent.
Well, they're sold alongside the nuts, right?
They're as in that and as in they're just very nut-like.
They're largely mistaken for nuts.
Right. Didn't realize this
which is crazy.
Be such a nut heavy episode.
Yeah. We just nutted everywhere. Once we at the end here, at the end, you and I
always like to save my nuts for the end.
Yeah.
Too. I mean, it's polite.
Yeah. You don't want to do that right away.
You don't want to nut prematurely.
No.
No. That's awful. If we would have nutted at the very beginning of the episode, then there's just nothing to keep us going at the end.
No. I mean,
we would have tuckered ourselves out.
Yeah. And then we'd have to wait a while before we can record again.
Yeah. There's a refractory period.
Big time.
About talking about nuts.
And it varies, it changes based on, age.
Yeah. Some days I can fire right back up, but other days,
I don't want to know this.
It takes me some time to nut again.
I don't want to know this.
What? We're talking about the consumption of nuts and what nuts we enjoy.
So you have had times
There's nothing
where
weird or creepy about this.
You've had times where you've finished,
and
then
I've finished. Well, I've finished. Not necessarily. The nut hasn't. I haven't fully nutted. Right. I haven't run out of nut. But I'm like, I'm good for now, and so I'll set it aside. And then immediately afterwards, I'm like, I want to nut some more. So I'll just pick it right back up and just go to town on myself.
Okay, I know we're talking about eating nuts.
But
But
that's all we're talking about.
But in the spirit of it possibly being referred
in the spirit of Christmas.
In the spirit of Christmas, and it possibly being a metaphor for something else. The fact that you say,
I don't get it.
The fact that you say you set it aside, like you don't, not all the nut. There's some nut left that you set aside.
I'll clean up after myself eventually, but
you tend to make a big mess when you nut.
Oh, always. I'll get it all over myself.
All over yourself.
Yeah.
How are you positioned when you're nutting?
Usually relaxing on a chair in my living room
with the window open.
Yeah, my cats will sit there watching me as I'm just nutting into my mouth.
See you next Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
If you have a question, complaint, or threat for Sean or Matt, you can reach us on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at hsfamouspod, or you can email the show at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. No animals were pleasured during the making of this podcast, despite our best efforts. All hail our Lord and Savior.
This is Holy Mary. It's a horse head with attached eyes and ears.